So the first card you have for your past is the Knight of Swords. Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of anger in this card. I'm actually seeing someone who messed you up, messed you around kind of thing. I think it was about something I think they got you really angry. You're really angry with them. You might have said a few pretty nasty words to them, because swords are about words. Well, not always, but you know, I see them as that sometimes. But yeah, they got you really, really angry. I think what happened was, this is about someone who didn't respect your time. And I think also they're a little bit dishonest as well sometimes. Not in great big ways. They didn't tell you great big terrible lies or anything. It was just kind of like little excuses. It's like they did something wrong, or they forgot something, or they messed you up or something, and then they made these little excuses that might have been like, where are you? And you're trying to call them. Oh, I lost my phone. Oh, the battery died and I didn't know. Silly excuses. And I'm actually seeing that they really wasted your time. I think there might have even been a whole day or even days wasted because of this person. I think they might have said they'd do something, or they'd be somewhere at a certain time, or they'd finish something by a certain time, and they just didn't do that. I don't know if this is someone who you work for, or it might be... it might also be an ex that you have to be in contact with, because I think this is someone who you have to meet at certain times or talk to at certain times. You've got some kind of contract with them. If this is an ex, it might be someone who you're married to. It might be someone you have children to, because you have to keep on seeing them because of these children. Or it might be, again, it might be your boss or someone who you're working for. Might even be your landlord. It's somebody, or landlady, I should say. Somebody who you have some kind of contract to, some kind of connection to, where you have to see them at certain times. That's what I'm seeing. But they really drove you crazy. They messed you around. And they really had no respect for your time. I think that was the thing that drove you crazy. You're a busy person, and you know, they just messed up your time. And I think you're really angry with yourself as well, because I think you're saying something to yourself like, oh, I should have known. They do this all the time. I should know them by now. I shouldn't be surprised by this behavior. Yeah, you can't avoid this person. That's what I'm seeing here as well. Yeah, I think you're probably going to have to keep on talking to this person for a long time, maybe a few years even, I'm seeing. So there's some kind of thing that you're attached to them. There's something that attaches you to this person. And the other thing I'm seeing in this is they're not going to change. So I think they're not going to make your life easy. They're absolutely not. So you have to try and work around that to make your life easy. If it's something like an ex that you have to kind of be in contact with because of your children, if you have to say, okay, I'm going to pick them up at this time, or I'm going to take them to this, or what, you might have to do something like, okay, I'm only going to contact you through email, or you might even have to have a separate phone just for them so they don't drive you crazy or something. And then you just kind of talk to them in that way. And then also, if it's done by text or email, then you have evidence of things that you've said and times and that kind of thing as well. That might work in the other ways as well. You've got to do some kind of strategy, do something to make your life easier, because they're not going to do that. That's what I'm seeing. Right, so the next card you have your past is the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm seeing a few different things in here. It's a bit mixed up, actually. I hope this is going to make some kind of sense to you. This is about someone who you had feelings for. I think you probably still do. Now, this is not the same person that I'm seeing in the Knight of Swords. This is a completely separate person. Yeah, I am seeing you had feelings for someone. I think they were unavailable to you, or I think you were unavailable, or you both were for some reason. I don't know if this was a long distance thing. It might have been that. I'm seeing a lot of practical reasons why you won't work, or you thought that you wouldn't work with them at that time. You know, I'm just seeing either one of you or both of you kind of looking at everything logically and just saying, this just won't work. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, there were feelings there though. Doesn't matter. Practical separate from the heart. Absolutely. And that's what I'm seeing. You had feelings for them. I think they did for you as well, definitely. And I think you've known this person for a long time. I think there's some kind of difference between you, whether that's you might come from a different culture to them, or there's some kind of difference. It might be an age difference. I'm also seeing a lot of innocence in this person, and I think this is innocence that's under the surface, beneath the surface. This is innocence that you see. A lot of other people don't see that. I think a lot of other people might have seen them as quite tough or harsh or hard or something. But you see this very, very innocent side of them. That's what I'm seeing. Now, I don't think you're around them now. I'm seeing that again as well. Yeah, I think what happened is you decided, or they decided, or someone decided this just wasn't going to work because of these differences. Also, there was some kind of logistical things around this. I think you went your separate ways. They had a relationship with someone else. They might still be in that relationship now. You had a relationship with someone else as well, and all of that happened. But you always had feelings for them. That's what I'm seeing. You always had feelings for them. You always did. And I think they have feelings for you. I think they probably still do. I don't think they're acting on any of that. You're not either. But you know, you were getting on with your life. You're doing everything you had to do. You weren't in contact with them, I don't think. You weren't harassing them, even though you had feelings. No one was talking to anyone, but there was a piece of them in your heart. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So yeah, there was a piece of them in your heart and you were just thinking about them. The other thing I'm seeing about them is they're probably a little bit rebellious, or people see them as that. They see them as a bit hard, tough, rebellious, and you know this other side of them. You know this kind of soft, even innocent side. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the last card you have your past is the Queen of Swords. Yeah, again, you weren't contacting them. For one, I think you've just gone your separate ways, and I think you were like, well, I don't know if this will ever happen. They might be with someone else, who knows? I'm just thinking about them. I'm just thinking about them. That doesn't mean I'm going to act. Excuse me, I'm sorry about my throat. And also you're Leo, you know, you have a lot of pride as well. And I think a lot happened between you. I think you went through a lot of ups and downs together. I actually think that... yeah, this is what I'm seeing was happening with them at this time. It might still be like that now. I think they've kind of gotten into this other relationship. And I think for the first time in their life, they're probably doing the traditional thing, the accepted thing. I don't think they're married. I don't think it's that. I think they're in this relationship. They're with someone who looks as if they suit them on the surface. Everything looks fine. They're probably in the same, from the same background or the same age or something similar. And a lot of family approves of this. They're getting a lot of family approval. And I think they like getting that approval. They're happy to have that because I don't think they've ever had that before. So they're kind of enjoying that. But where they are at this time isn't them. They don't feel as if they fit in with all of that. I think they might actually be at a crossroads at this time. Because, you know, they're not sure whether to kind of keep on going on with this or to move forward. You know, this queen has her sword up. She's saying no, she wants to be by herself, but then her other hand's gesturing for things to come toward her. So I think, yeah, again, they like the acceptance. They like the family acceptance. They're kind of like that feeling. But it's not them. It's not the real them. And they're feeling this disconnect. That's what I'm seeing. And so you know, the Queen of Swords can be about clarity as well. So I think they're just really looking into themselves, finding out whether this is thinking, you know, is this the right place for me to be? It doesn't feel right. You know, I like the acceptance, but this isn't me. This is not who I am. And they're just going through that kind of thing, I think. And yeah, I think in the past they were quite rebellious. At this time, everything's kind of calmed down, at least on the surface. I think the right thing for them is probably somewhere in between these two extremes. So I think they're going through a process at this time of working through all of that, working out where they actually want to be in life and all of that kind of thing. That's what I'm seeing. I know that was a bit complicated. I know that was a lot. I hope it makes sense to you. Right, so the first card you have for your present is the Emperor. Yeah, I think also, so what I was seeing is you decided you couldn't be together. They were with someone else. They might still be, and they're at this crossroads. What happened to you was, I think you might have gotten into a different relationship again. I think you realised this all wasn't good for you, or whatever happened, there was some kind of breakup. And now that you've kind of broken up with this other person, that might have triggered this thinking all about this person in the Page of Pentacles, because you'd never stopped thinking about them. And now that you've completely broken up, you're free again, and you're thinking, wow, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what's happening with this person. That's the feeling I'm getting around that. The other thing I'm seeing is, I think there's a real need for you to start to get things into order. I know this is probably going to sound very, very boring to you, because I think you like to kind of rush off and do things. You're big and you're bold and you like to kind of do all the exciting things. But I think what's happened is you've kind of done all of that. But there are a lot of little things that you've kind of left around, either in your organization, in your business, or in your work, or around the house. Lots of little tasks that you just haven't done. I think you've just got to start to pick them up again, I'm trying to say, or have some kind of system set up where you do a certain amount of time every day or every week or something. It sounds so boring, I know, and I know it is to you, Leo. It is to me as well as an Aries. But I know that if you don't set up some kind of system or deal with these little boring things at a set time every day or every week, they become out of control. It happens to me, and then it turns into this great big huge boring monster that's in front of you, and you think, oh my god, I have to deal with that great big thing. It's just horrible. So if you break it down into little chunks right now and just do little bits at a time, it won't turn into that big monster. And I think that's what this Emperor is telling you, because the Emperor is all about being in control of things, getting your life into control. He's a bit like an army sergeant. Hop 2, 3, get your laces tied up, do everything properly. So, and that's all very boring, and it is to me too, but you've got to get some kind of system in place so that you don't have to deal with it in this great big horrible way. You're just dealing in little bits at a time. That's what I'm seeing. I know that sounds so boring. The next card you have for your present is Judgment. Yeah, this is about this person in the Page of Pentacles. I'm seeing them again. They're on your mind. This is what they're going through. I think I'm seeing all of this that's going on in their lives, even though you haven't spoken to them for a long time, because they're on your mind. And so they're coming up. So this is what I'm seeing for them. They are going through a lot of big changes in their life. I was seeing that in the Queen of Swords. They're at a big crossroads. They don't know whether to come backwards or forwards. What I'm seeing here is they're no saint. That's what I'm seeing basically. I think they've been through a lot, and I think what happens actually is they've done this quite a lot. They've repeated this pattern. They've gotten themselves into some kind of problem or trouble with people, and then what happens is the people are hurt, or there's some problem, and they just get up and leave, and they leave people behind, friends, family members even, it doesn't matter who it is. Now, I think they've done that a few times. They've just kind of picked up and moved on. This is kind of a little pattern that happens in their life. I think what's happening now is they're at this crossroads. They want to break that pattern. They're tempted to just get up and move on, but they can't do that. this is a bit harder for them this time. They're getting all this approval. Everyone's saying, aren't you wonderful? Now that you've calmed down, you're not this rebel anymore. You're this kind of nice person who does the right thing. So that's a big struggle for them right now. But I do think in this relationship they're in, it is not the right thing for them. They're kind of going through the motions. Everything's fine, but they just don't have that spark there. And it's because they're just doing all the right things on the surface, but deep down there's no passion or anything like that there. So that's what I'm seeing with that. I actually think they will connect with you again in some way. The other thing I'm seeing in this is an apology. So I think they're probably going to have some kind of apology for you. Now, I think when they do eventually come back to you at some time, I think you know them very, very well. You've known them for a long time. I can see that. And yeah, you can see into them quite deeply in a way that nobody else can. That's what I'm seeing as well. Now, you're going to deal with this apology with a lot of caution, I think. I'm actually seeing this as going to be a genuine apology. I think they are truly examining themselves. They're really examining what they've done wrong, looking at themselves. Because if you look at the family on this card, there's a mirror image of them on the other side. So it's almost like it's a mirror and they're examining themselves. So I think that's what this person's doing. They're looking at themselves and they're thinking, wow, I've really done this. I remember that incident. I did this and I did that. And so they're going through that. They're going through a big change in their life. And I think this connection or this reconnection, when they come back to you, it's going to be a big challenge for you, because I think you're going to be asking yourself a lot of questions, a lot of difficult questions. There's going to be a big question mark around this whole thing. Do I actually want to see them at all? What sort of relationship do I want with them? If I want one, I don't know. So it's going to be very difficult because there are a lot of mixed feelings. It's very mixed up. Very, very mixed up. That's what I'm seeing. I wish I could see that a lot clearer for you, but I can't. So the last card you have, your present, is the King of Wands. Yeah, there's a lot of, again, there's going to be a lot of indecisiveness when they come back to you. You're not quite going to know what to do. There's a lot of passion with this king. You know you had a lot of passion with this person. Sorry about that noise. You know you had a lot of passion with them. There was a lot of passion between you, a lot of spark, and that's what they're missing with this person they're with now. But yeah, that's going to have you indecisive. Oh, I remember the passion, you know, do I want to be with them? But no, there are all these problems and all these other things, and I don't know. So you're going to be sitting there like this king thinking, I want to get up, I want to go, but I don't know. And so, you know, the other thing I'm seeing is, yeah, you haven't just been sitting around thinking about them, even though you have been thinking about them. You've been getting on with your work, and I'm seeing a lot of things in the workplace here as well. I'm seeing motivation here. I'm seeing leadership here as well. I don't know if you're leading people in your work or you're training people or something like that in the workplace, but yeah, people definitely look up to you, whether you realize this or not, they do. And I don't know if you're going to stay in this workplace where you are in the long term or not, but you are going to be in some kind of leadership position. Now, if you are already, if you're a manager or if you're a leader or something, you're going to climb even higher than you are. If you're not in a leadership position yet, you are going to be in the future. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of people naturally look up to you. It's not something you have to practice at. It's natural. People do that, whether you realize that or not. So yeah, you're going to be in charge of things. Managing, you might end up running your own business, in charge of people, you might employ people. I'm definitely seeing that happening for you. The other thing I'm seeing is, again, back again with this connection with this person, I think when you were with this person, you probably took a lead role with them as well. They looked up to you. That's what I'm seeing there. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the Seven of Cups. Yeah, there's a lot of indecision in this as well, a lot of kind of mixed up things. Yeah, I think this is a completely different decision that you're going to be kind of looking at. I think this might have something to do with this annoying person in the Knight of Swords, actually. This is some kind of offer coming to you. It's probably some kind of financial offer, I think. Maybe it's some kind of proposal. And what I was seeing in the Knight of Swords is that you don't quite trust this person to be organised. So, you know, they mess you around a bit, and some of that might be deliberate, but I think a lot of it might just be because they're just hopeless and disorganised. So I don't actually think this is a bad offer. But if this is something you're considering, if this is something legal, or if it's official, like a contract or something like that, because I think it might be something like that, make sure you have everything in writing, make sure you have everything signed. You might even have to have someone else, maybe an official, co-signing things, because I think your initial reaction to this offer is just going to be to say no. It's going to be an automatic, great, big, enormous no. No, I am not dealing with this person, and I can totally see why that is, because I can see all that thing you've had to go through with them in the Knight of Swords. I'm seeing that. But if this is an ex, if this is someone who is an ex that you were kind of married to or something, or if it's some kind of business associate or boss or something, think about this very carefully before you just say no. Because I think if you can get the official things, the logistics and the legal things sorted out properly, or written down properly, signed properly, everything worked out, I think you'll do very, very well out of this. I think this is some kind of financial offer, some kind of settlement, partnership, something. So think about this. If this resonates, don't automatically say no. It's something that's going to be to your benefit if you've sorted out all the logistics properly. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your future is the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, here we are again. If you think through this very, very carefully, this offer, you look through everything, you make sure you're 100% happy with everything. You might even have to get a legal person to look over things for you, a lawyer or something. That might be a good idea. It's going to cost you, but it's going to be worth it. I think if you do all of that, you'll do very, very well out of this, like the woman on this card. Now, you can't see here. I'll move it down so you can see. There's a little snail. You can just see there's a little snail right at the bottom of that card. So again, that's showing you, take your time to look over this contract or this offer or whatever this says. Really take your time as if you're a snail. Go very slowly, and then when you've done that, sign everything properly, and you'll be feeling like this woman in this card. Very happy, very content, because I think whatever this is can set you up very well for your future. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so the last card you have for your future is the Fool. Yeah, again, don't be hasty, don't be impatient like this Fool, and don't just say, oh, that's nothing, that won't help me, and run away. I don't want that, because you might have your back. You don't want to turn your back on something that's going to be very valuable, something that's very positive, that's very good in your life. This Fool has his back to the sun. He's turned his back on the positive. Don't do that. Another thing I'm seeing here is that I almost don't want to say this because there are so many variables here on your part and on their part. But sometimes this card can be about starting over again with someone. So it might be this person again in the Page of Pentacles. And I'm seeing a lot of differences between you, and this old love connection might be an age difference again. I'm seeing that, but it doesn't have to be. You know, I'm seeing you being a leader as well and more mature and all of that. So again, it might be an age difference, doesn't have to. But yeah, you're definitely going to connect with them again in some way. I'm seeing that everywhere. It is going to bring up some confusion for you and all of that. There are so many variables here, but you are going to get together in some way. I think you're going to end up saying, I'm either going to be a friend, or I'm going to get back together with them again in love, or I'm not going to see them at all. You're going to have to make a decision between those three things. That's what I'm seeing. So Leo, I hope this resonated, but general readings can't always resonate, as you know. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do, and thank you so much for watching.